All right, let's go.
Oh, that was where the accident was.
If I could get everyone's
That's right
attention,
outside my
I'll call to
neighborhood.
order the city council meeting for April 21st, 2025. If you call the roll, please.
Here.
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 Here. Here.
Here, just stand for the pledge. Oh, sorry. Would you stand for Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item C is the swearing in of re-elected council members Kathy Griffin, Sid Porter, and Melissa Hunt by Judge Blake Virgin.
I am. I got you. I got it. We're friends, right?
The mayor said I had 45 minutes to make some.
Whatever you want to do.
I'm going to wait this time. You'll all raise your right hand for me. I state your name. I do solemnly swear. That I will support, obey, and defend. The Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma. I will not knowingly receive. Directly or indirectly. Any money or other valuable thing. For the performance or non-performance. Of any act or duty. Pertaining to my office. Further swear. I will perform my duties. As council member. For the city of Moore. To the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations.
All right. Thank you, Judge. And congratulations on getting sworn in. Yep, you're here.
My honor.
Item D will be roll call.
Here.
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 Here. Here.
Here. Thank you. Item 2 is our consent docket.
Make a motion we approve items A through I.
Second.
We have had a motion and a second to approve items A through I on the consent docket. Would you call the roll?
Yes.
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 Item 3 is consider approval of irrevocable permit for an encroachment of 20 feet utility easement by 10 feet at 3351 Shady Creek Lane. Application is by Joseph Henry.
Mayor and council, this is located in the Shady Creek Addition, which is north of Southeast 34th Street and east of Bryant. The plat was filed in 2005 and is now considered to be fully built out with the construction of 3351 Shady Creek Lane. There is currently a 20-foot public utility easement that runs along the western edge of the platted addition that is not in use. This easement was required as part of the platting procedure to allow for public utilities to extend their lines as needed. However, no public utility has placed their infrastructure within this easement, including the city of Moore. Our sewer is in the front yard. The applicant is in the process of constructing a residence at 3351 Shady Creek Lane and desires an in-ground pool in the backyard. However, the pool in the desired location would encroach into the 20-foot utility easement by 10 feet. The owner is requesting an irrevocable permit for the section of the easement where the pool is located. In reviewing this request, we received no objections from public utilities or city staff for a portion of this easement to be occupied by an in-ground pool. It should be noted that upon development, the property that is located to the west of the site would be required to give a 15-foot utility easement. So at some point, we will have a larger easement if needed on the west side. Staff recommends approval of this irrevocable permit request to encroach on the 20-foot utility easement as platted in the Shady Creek addition by 10 feet. The distance of this encroachment would be not more than 70 feet, that's shown on a site plan that you have in your packet. It's page 109. I should make a note that this is for an irrevocable permit, which means that we would not come back and ask for this easement to be reinstated. The applicant would have full use of this portion of the easement for his pool in perpetuity.
Okay. Is, anybody here that wants to speak on this? I don't see anyone. Any questions from the council?
I make a motion we approve.
Second.
Okay, we've had the motion and a second. Would you call the vote?
Yes.
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 Okay, item carries. Item 4 is consider authorizing staff to enter into negotiations with WSC Half and Associates for an update to the City of Moore's Land Development Code as described in the RFP number 2025-009.
Mayor and council, city council approved an update to the land development code as a budgeted item in this year's budget. We did release an RFP on February 4th to qualified planning firms, and the city received a total of 4 responses. An RFP review committee was formed to review and score the proposals. This committee was made up from various city departments and divisions who work regularly with the zoning code. We did have, as I stated, 4 proposals. The first one, Clarion, arrived after the due date, so that was returned unopened. TSW is a firm from the Tulsa area. Fries and Nichols, who we are familiar with and had work with, and this WCS and Half and Associates, which Half and Associates is here in Oklahoma City as an engineering firm. WCS is a law firm out of the Kansas City area. The top 2 firms after the scoring were the WCS and Half Associates, and the second was Fries and Nichols. The reason why the WSC and Half and Associates were the high scoring proposal was because they did include a land use attorney as a lead code writer to help identify legal issues with our current code and to create a legally defensible document. Drafting of the revised code and associated workshops and public input are separated into separate modules, and this is to avoid the information overload that you might get with reviewing city codes, especially as a layperson. They did have a proposed 1-year project schedule, which is attractive to us, and their recent code updates include projects countrywide. We particularly were interested in the Overland Park, Kansas code update, and they are currently working on an ongoing code update for the city of Oklahoma City. So staff is requesting permission to enter into negotiations with WCSC, Half and Associates, for the City of Moore Land Development Code updates. If you have any questions.
The bids were within the budgeted amount?
Well, it's not a bidded item. This was request for proposals, and we're actually specifically forbidden to talk about money.
Yes.
So-
Engineering and architectural services cannot be bid. It's qualifications-based selection.
Yes, so no money was put to this proposal at all, and for any of the firms. The next step would be to start to negotiate a contract with the preferred firm.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we've had a motion and a second. Would you call the vote?
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Kathy Griffith. Yes. Sid Porter,
Yes.
Melissa Hunt,
Yes.
Louis Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 5 is consider authorizing the purchase of 33 rifles and accessories from Pro Force Law Enforcement in the amount of $80,039.19 as the lowest quote, minus $4,254.25 in-store credit from a trade-in of firearms previously declared as surplus for a total of $75,784.94.
Mayor and Council, this request to purchase rifles is to replace SWAT rifles along with other rifles in our inventory. It's a matter of upgrading and updating, and also to equip new hires as well. The sources of funding are our current M&O accounts and our SWAT and Armory budgets, along with a Fund 12 new hire budget. All three accounts will be used to make this purchase. It does include upgraded optics, updated platforms, and most importantly, hearing protection in the form of sound suppressors on the rifles, which will help in not only shooting situations, but also in training situations, especially at the indoor ranges. We'd recommend approval for this item.
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
We've had a motion and a second. Would you call the vote, please?
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Sid Porter,
Yes.
Melissa Hunt,
Yes.
Louis Williams.
Yes.
Adam Webb.
Yes.
Okay, item carries. Item 6 is consider approval of year 2 projects of a 5-year contract with Holbrook Asphalt LLC for street pavement preservation of selected city streets using high-density mineral bond HA5 in the amount of $305,083.60.
Mayor and council, HA5 is a sealant treatment that's applied to the asphalt, preventing oxidation, and it keeps UV rays out and moisture out of the asphalt itself, and slows the hardening, if you will, of the asphalt and prevents cracks and deterioration. We did utilize this material last year in Edgewater and a small section of Apple Valley, and it turned out really well. It seems to be working really well. And so this year we want, in year 2 of the 5-year contract, we're looking at Cider Farms Edition, Prairie View Edition, Broadmoor Heights, and the Waters Edition, and would recommend approval of this contract.
Hey, I know last year there was, I think it has been a good product. I haven't had any complaints. I know multiple people that live in that addition, whichever one it was that we did, and they were concerned that their driveways would turn black because it would stick, but none of that has happened. So it's been a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But there was an issue with the scheduling, and that it is quite a disruption when we come in there and do that. So just make sure we have learned from maybe some of those.
Correct. I mean, what we did is we canceled the first scheduled event last year, and made some better adjustments to how we, the idea is to try to get the people as close as they can to their property,
Right.
their home, because unfortunately, once you lay the product down, it's almost a 24-hour process, and they can't drive on it.
For just
And so-
24 hours, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so one thing that will help in scheduling with this, doing 4 different subdivisions at a time, is that we can take smaller bits and pieces from each one, and that way, they're closer to their home, and then we can, do another one and move back and forth and still get a full day's worth of work accomplished as they do 4 additions at once.
Do we mail them a notice, a letter? Or
Yes,
they
we
walk
do.
around and?
We mail them.
Okay.
We have door hangers. We're also talking about utilizing the Tyler notification
Okay.
process. They'll get at least a month's notice ahead of time, and then as it gets closer, we'll provide additional notifications.
All right, sounds good. We just need a motion and a second.
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
Would you call the vote, please?
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Sid Porter,
Yes.
Melissa Hunt,
Yes.
Louis Williams.
Yes.
Adam Webb.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes. Item passes. Item 7, consider the budgeted renewal of the annual service agreement with Motorola Solutions for the public safety radio console system in the amount of $54,497.23.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As the item states, this is a budgeted expenditure that we've incurred ever since we've had the radio console system used in dispatch in the EOC. We'd recommend approval.
Okay.
Make a motion we
to
approve. Sorry. I'll second.
Any questions? None? We have a motion and a second. Would you call the vote?
Sid Porter.
Yes.
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
Louis Williams.
Yes.
Adam Webb.
Yes.
Kathy Griffith.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This time we'll recess the city council meeting and convene the Moore Public Works Authority meeting. Item 8 is the consent docket.
Make a motion to approve the consent docket items A and B.
Second.
Would you call the vote?
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
Louis Williams.
Yes.
Adam Webb.
Yes.
Kathy Griffith.
Yes.
Sid Porter.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes. We will recess the Moore Public Works Authority meeting and convene the Moore Risk Management meeting. Item 9 is the consent docket.
Make a motion we approve consent docket items A and B.
Second.
Will you call the vote, please?
Louis Williams.
Yes.
Adam Webb.
Yes.
Kathy Griffith.
Yes.
Sid Porter.
Yes.
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes. Item carries. We'll recess the Moore Risk Management meeting and convene the Moore Economic Development Authority meeting.
Item 10 is roll call.
Give me just a moment. Sorry.
Okay. No hurry.
Sid Porter.
Here.
Melissa Hunt.
Here.
Mark Ham.
Here.
Louis Williams.
Here.
Adam Webb.
Here.
Rob Clark. Kathy Griffith.
Here. Item 11 is the consent docket. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the consent docket item A.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Will you call for the vote?
Kathy Griffith.
Yes.
Sid Porter.
Yes.
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
Louis Williams.
Yes.
Adam Webb.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes.
Item carries. This time we'll recess the Moore Economic Development Authority meeting and reconvene the city council meeting.
Item 12 is new business. Nobody signed up. Is there anybody here that would like to speak? Seeing none, we'll go to item B, items from the city council trustees. Anybody have something? Obviously, we had an enormous amount of rain on Saturday, and our, all of our city services, our police, our fire, public works, dispatchers, MSTAT, and I'm probably leaving people out, but we appreciate their response. It was a very unusual event in Moore, and very sad about the loss of life, Erica and Rivers, that they drowned, and we are deeply sorrowful for that. I know that they have kind of set up a memorial there in that area, the students from Apple Creek. So if you're around there, please drive careful, because there'll be kids there for a little bit. But it's just very, very sad and tragic. But we also appreciate the response, and Ryan, Chief Marler, I believe Oklahoma City and Norman came in to help with that. Is that correct?
That's correct. Norman came in to help, and Oklahoma City brought their technical swiftwater team.
Okay. So we, had a lot of resources, and I think everybody was busy. I would imagine all of the state fire stations were out that night helping.
Yes,
Yep.
all of our crews were out, a little overwhelmed by the number of calls for service. But we appreciate the partnership with Oklahoma City Fire. And I think there was 4 stations worth of people from the Oklahoma City Fire Department and 1 station from Norman here to help us during that time.
Okay. Well, great. It is great to have that relationship with our neighboring cities, so thank you.
Thank you.
Brooks, do you have anything?
Yes, just a few things. First off, I would like to introduce our new Public Works Director, Dennis Bothell. Dennis, would you? So Dennis is. Dennis has been on contract with us for, I think, 3 years now, doing some part-time stuff, and then became the interim director recently, and then we persuaded him to take the full-time job, and so we're glad to have him on board.
Great. Welcome.
Glad to have you.
On April the 9th, we had IT put on a tabletop exercise for cybersecurity that was attended by all of the department heads and other members of police and fire. So it was a very productive exercise, and we look forward to more of those. With the storm Saturday night, our big trash pickup, we're 2 weeks out on those, and as soon as, they're able to catch up on this, then we'll probably get back to the week out like we have been. And then I also want to thank, our police, fire, dispatch, emergency management, and public affairs for all their hard work on Saturday. It was a tough night, and want to thank them for all their hard work.
Okay. Thank you. Item, there is no executive session, which we have, it's nice. So, item 13 is adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Would you call the roll, please?
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Sid Porter,
Yes.
Lisa Hunt,
Yes.
Louis Williams,
Yes.
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes, we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Deidre, I have questions for you.